The Aurora consent decree means more oversight and scrutiny on the city and its police force. This comes as people in the community are calling for answers in the death of Kilyn Lewis.
9 News reporter Rachel Krause is here. And Rachel, now the independent monitor in charge of that consent decree is raising questions too.
Yeah, the monitor was first set up following Aurora and APD's handling of the death of Elijah McClain in an effort to improve how officers use force and interact with people of color. Now that monitor is calling on APD to provide answers about what happened in the death of Kilyn Lewis.
Well, I think there are issues that have to be answered.
A new report released by Aurora's consent decree monitor is raising questions over the shooting of Kilyn Lewis. In May, officers were serving an arrest warrant against Lewis when he was shot and killed by an Aurora police officer. Lewis was unarmed. Monitor Jeff Schlanger questions APD's involvement in executing a Denver arrest warrant.
And there were questions with respect to the tactics that were employed, including whether or not there were less lethal options that were available during the encounter.
The report also questions if APD's tactical approach was appropriate and notes that the officer who killed Lewis has been involved in prior shootings, raising questions about how APD selects and retains SWAT team officers.
Obviously, there needs to be a fresh look at the question of whether or not the officer reasonably believed that his life or the lives of others were in danger by the actions of Mr. Lewis.
While the DA's office announced earlier this month the officer who shot Lewis won't be charged, Schlanger says an administrative review and force review board are still looking at these issues, and APD will have to answer.
APD recognizes that we need answers to the questions that we put in the report. And I am certain that between the administrative investigation and the FRB, the Force Review Board process, that we will get those answers.
Schlanger says in this phase of the consent decree, they're keeping an eye on how APD is following its new policies, trainings, and procedures. And that includes a close look at what happened to Kilyn Lewis. I reached out to Aurora Police about the questions raised in this report. I haven't yet received a response. Rachel Krause, 9 News.